Before the video starts, I just want to let you guys know that over 90% of you watching this video aren't even subscribed to the channel. So if this is something you like, basketball related content, then be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an upload. And also please be sure to turn on your notifications so you don't miss an upload. And also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. That makes a big difference in helping this channel grow. With that being said, back to the video. What's going on, guys? So today I just wanted to talk about the Utah Jazz because this is one of the most interesting and strangest parts of this season so far. Just the fact that the Utah Jazz are on another level right now. If you watch them play and you're watching how this team has been doing so far this season, they have won, I believe it is 20 out of their last 21 games. They're on a 9-game winning streak. They beat the Clippers by like 20 yesterday, even though if they were without, PG and Kawhi. But still, I mean, the Utah Jazz are balling right now. It is unbelievable how much of a jump they've made. Like, it's unreal to think about. And the interesting part about these wins that the Jazz have been, the wins that they've had so far, it's not just that they're playing against a bunch of bad teams. Like, the Jazz are 6th in strength of schedule. So they're not playing against, a bunch of scrubs so far this season. They have a pretty tough schedule, and they have the 4th net rating against the top 10 teams. So yeah, you can't just say that, the Jazz are winning against all these scrub teams, right? They are, but they're also winning against these top teams. That win against the Sixers last time was huge. They beat the Celtics, they beat the Heat. Like, they're winning games, and they're doing a very good job at it. So I mean, it is unbelievable watching these guys play because it is just out of nowhere. No one in their right mind thought the Utah Jazz would be the best team in basketball right now, right? Like, the Utah Jazz for me are a bottom seed Western Conference playoff team that can maybe get out of the first round. They were not in anyone's mind the top team in the West. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about why they're so good because it has been unbelievable and why this has happened. But man, that game against, I think it was the Bucks, where Giannis after the game was really nice about the way that the Jazz were playing. He was basically saying that this team plays hard, they make shots, their offense is simple yet so effective, and they just look like they're having fun playing simple basketball. And Giannis sees it when he's playing the Jazz and they beat him like handily. But I think it goes into just how effective they've been so far. So, like, why are they winning, right? Like, why are they winning all these games? Why are they the best team in the NBA right now so far? And obviously, you're going to point to Donovan Mitchell, who has been unbelievable this season, right? Like, his numbers are not that different, but he's made such a bigger impact on this team because he's turned into a superstar kind of guy. So watching that, growth from him for the past 3-4 years has been great. The biggest difference is that his shooting has gone up, solid 40% on 8 attempts. That's a decent improvement from last year. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell's been a superstar this season. Rudy Gobert has been great this season. To me, he's, the clear front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, like he always is. But, people laughed when he got that massive contract extension, even me. I was like, why is he worth that much money? Because it was like over $200 million. I don't know what the details were, but it was a massive contract, and I didn't know why I didn't think he deserved it, but he's been playing great so far. He's been, he hasn't been as effective on the offensive end, but that's not where he is his strength. That's not where he is the strongest, His defense is what makes him so great, and that's why this team is doing so well. So he's been great. Donovan Mitchell's been great. That duo has been great this season. But that's what you expect from them, right? These are 2 all-stars. These are 2, great players, and they've been doing this for some time now. So watching them grow is not a surprise at all. But to me, the biggest reason the Jazz are winning the way they are right now is not just Donovan Mitchell's success, not just Rudy Gobert's success, but this overall team on offense and the weapons that they have and how great they've been so far this season is what makes this team so good right now. Like, just look at the shooting percentages for the other guys on this team, right? Mike Conley shooting 41% from 3 on 6 attempts a game. Joe Ingles has a 67% true shooting percentage on 7 attempts and 44% from 3 on 5 attempts a game. Bojan Bogdanovic is also another great shooter. Royce O'Neal has had the biggest jump this season, 62% true shooting, 43% on 3-point attempts on 4 attempts a game. Like, this team overall has been terrific this season, and to have these guys making shots at the rate that they are, I don't know what the overall team is. On 42 attempts a game, they're shooting 40% from 3. Like, the Jazz overall as a team. I don't know if that's going to stay, but that's pretty damn good for this team, right? Like, to be shooting at such a high level is unbelievable, and I give them so much credit for it. But man, I talked about the other guys. I talked about Conley, Ingles, Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal. They've all been great, but to me, another guy on this team, and I think that we're starting to pay attention to it now, especially after the last game, Jordan Clarkson has been on another level. Like, he has, to me, the 6th man of the year so far. Like, I mean, did you see what he did? 42 points the other day. I think it was against the Warriors. Don't count me on it. But he dropped 42. Actually, no, it wasn't against the Warriors. It was against the Sixers. They spoiled Ben Simmons' career night. Like, Ben Simmons had a career night, had his career high in points. I think it was 42. But Jordan Clarkson also had 42. Like, unbelievable, right? Like, he's not even a starter, and he's making shots. He's a playmaker. He facilitates. He does those things, and for him to do all that off the bench and to do it at such a high level, that's another thing that this Jazz team has that has just been unbelievable this season. They're making shots. They're doing all that stuff, but when you watch how this team plays on offense, like, watch a game, and I'll admit, I haven't really watched a lot of Jazz games this season. I've just been watching the ones against the big matchups. Like, I watched the one against the Sixers. I watched against the Bucks and the Heat because those were good matchups. But if you watch how this team plays on offense, you get an idea of why they're good and why the other teams are, and have guys like Giannis are, like, acknowledging how good they are. Because they're not running, like, these complex offenses. It's not like just, pin down screens here, cut to the basket here, screen, like, actions here. Like, it's not any of that. It's a lot of ball movement. Like, it's a lot of just guy at the top of the key goes to the corner, and they're just, like, throwing the ball at each other a bunch until someone gets open, and it works. Like, there's the one viral video from when they were playing the Heat, right, where it's like, I don't even remember specifically. It was just like, throw it to Bogdanovic, who threw it to Gobert, who threw it to Donovan, to Clarkson, and then they would just do that, like, back and forth, and they went like 9 or 10 times just throwing the ball at each other, not even taking dribbles, and eventually they would just give it to Gobert and he would, throw it down at the paint. Like, they do that consistently during the game, and when they're doing that at such an effective level, how do you expect the defense to stop it, right? Like, it's just so simple, but it's so effective at how they do it, and it's been fun to watch, to be honest, because when you have, 2 superstars, but then you have that beautiful ball movement. Like, that's one of those great things about this sport, about basketball, and why I love it so much, because stuff like that makes this thing so cool. Like, watching the way that they move the ball so quickly and so effectively, and how they just get guys open. No one's standing around, everyone's moving to get open. Like, it's just so good to watch, right? Like, it's great. But yeah, this team has been unbelievable, and I've seen a lot of people making comparisons to other teams in the past, right? Because this is not a team that you expect to be doing so good as they are, right? But I've seen a lot of comparisons online that this team is basically like the 2015 Atlanta Hawks. They were the best team. They had the best record at the time. The Hawks were the number 1 seed at the time. But, when it came to the playoffs, they got to the conference finals, and LeBron and the Cavs, destroyed them, basically. So all that, hype for them being a real championship contender, they got to the conference finals, but, once they got to LeBron, that was it. So people are saying that, what if that's just that for this team? Like, what if, they just get to LeBron, and, what if they meet LeBron in the playoffs, and then, the Lakers just completely destroy them? That's possible. But, I mean, hey, who knows? They're beating good teams anyway, right? Like, I don't know if they've met with the Lakers yet, but I'm interested to see how that would go. But yeah, I mean, they're winning against good teams too. So I don't know about the comparison against the Hawks. I can see why people are thinking that. I don't agree with it, but it's something that's being thrown out there. Another thing that I'm seeing is JJ Redick on his podcast compared this team to the 2014 Spurs because they have like a very simple offense that is predictable, but at the same time they execute it so well that it's so hard to like defend. So that's a good comparison. I would like that one too, you know. But yeah, this team has just been unbelievable this season, and I think that it makes sense because we saw what they did in the bubble last year, right? Like that first round series against Denver. Now granted, they blew a 3-1 lead. That's on them. But that series as a whole was super competitive and also like a very fun series, by the way. But, you know, you had Donovan Mitchell, you know, dropping 50 every other game. You had Jordan Clarkson like really step into his role and like put on a show. Rudy Gobert was doing his thing. The team overall was doing their thing. So, you know, it's just, it works. And we saw what happened in the bubble, and now they're actually like translating it into the season. So they're basically the opposite of what the Miami Heat are right now. Like the Heat were so good in the bubble and they're not good right now. The Jazz were good in the bubble, but they're great right now. So it's funny to watch that, but it's insane to think about the Utah Jazz in this conversation right now as the best team in the NBA right now. But hey, the season's very weird and this is the stuff that happens. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below what you think about the Jazz. Do you think that this is going to continue? Do you think that this is a real championship team? Or do you think that this is just a regular season team that's going to get knocked off in the playoffs? Let me know what you think. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. And yeah, thank you guys for the continued support. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. No.